Welcome to the Silent Thinking Podcast, a space to slow down, breathe, and reconnect. Today I'm reading from Walking the Path, A Leader's Journey by Dr. Keith McNally, a reflective story about the inner journey of leadership. Just listen and let the stillness support you. The story continues. A week had passed. The deer path forked. John and his companions stopped to consider their options. To the right, the path took a turn further up the mountain. To the left, the path kept straight. John had a 50% chance of making the right decision. He didn't want to screw this up. Nothing about this fork was mentioned in the journal. Nothing that he read so far, because he still wanted to keep the journal secret. He did not look for it in his backpack. This was his first real critical decision. His first real task as a leader was upon him. John looked for signs that may give him some insight into which path the animal used. Nothing was immediately obvious. Since they were in no rush to decide, and the choice would have an impact on their immediate and possibly long-term future, John decided to rest for a while and consult with his team. But before he did so, he asked Penny a question. "You know," John said, "I'm actually kind of angry with the story you told about your hand. Not angry at you, just at your situation. So what if your hand has a deformity? Why did your mom not tell people to begin with? And why would you want to hide it?" "Having a deformity makes me different," Penny said. "Nobody likes people who are different. Everyone in the valley is basically the same. They all do the same things. They are farmers or craftsmen. Being different means something is wrong with you. You don't fit in. You're a misfit." "Is that how you see yourself?" John asked. "Sometimes," Penny said. "Sometimes that's exactly how I feel. And whenever I go to work, I feel that I have to hide away. I just want to work, get done, and go home. There's nothing worse than getting fired from a job." "But what if the situation was treated differently?" John asked. "What do you mean?" Penny replied. "Well," John said, "think back at how you confronted me when you said you were coming along. I didn't recruit you to come along. And the first thing you tell me is that you have a deformed hand. You made it plain and clear to me that this was a part of your life. Then you immediately told me that you could still use it, despite how it looked. You were not afraid to be upfront with me." "That was different," Penny said. "How?" John asked. "Because I wanted you to think of me as being able," Penny said. "And I wanted Liz to feel proud of me." "What do you mean?" Liz asked. "I mean," Penny began, "you can do anything you want. You're pretty, have lots of friends, and can do anything. I don't have those things. Every time I get fired from a job, I feel like such a loser." "But I'm proud of you," Liz said. "But now I can prove myself," Penny said. "I can show you that I do things, and I can do them well. You taught me how to adapt to my situation, remember? You helped me even though I wanted to quit time after time. But you taught me how to brush my hair the way I wanted it, and you taught me how to cook. If it were not for you, I would be still back in the valley, frustrated, angry, and bitter. Now I have the opportunity to do more." "Penny," Liz said, "I've been thinking about what John said before, about why you kept your handicap hidden. And I was thinking how you could have handled those situations differently." "Yeah," Penny said, "and?" "If you had a chance to have a conversation with any of those that fired you," Liz started, "what would you say?" "I don't really know," Penny thought after a short while. "I never thought about it like that before. I just felt ashamed all of the time. And I just wanted to work. I wanted to prove that I could be useful. I guess I would say not judge me just by the look of my hand. There is a lot to that, John added. What do you mean? Penny asked. I mean, John said, you know how to express yourself. At least you have with me. You don't seem to have any problem being yourself around me. It seems different with you, Penny added. I feel safe talking with you. I don't feel like I'm being judged. I don't feel ashamed of who I am. And I don't feel like I have to hide. Why do you need to hide from others? John asked. I don't know, Penny sighed. I always felt like I was being judged. I just wanted to work. I wanted to do my best. It sounds like Liz and I need to help you with your self-esteem, John said. I will also say that people who hired you were lazy and stupid. They should have talked with you and your mom about your condition. My dad always said that he had to hold people accountable for their actions. However, he also holds himself accountable. He keeps a record of his employees' actions. He also knows them personally. He knows their stories, John paused. I wish you would have come to work for my dad, John continued. He would not have had any problem hiring you. I know I speak bad about my dad as a dad, but as an employer, he knows what he's doing. He gives everyone an opportunity to prove themselves. It's only when he knows they are not pulling their own weight that he lets people go. After some time, they made their first major decision on the journey. They turned right at the fork and traveled for another day. The path rose in elevation, which made the trek a bit more difficult for the five of them. Even John felt a burden on his legs as they climbed. He hoped that the path would level off and skirt around the mountain. If this was indeed a deer path, it would not climb all the way to the peak. The animals would need to find a direct path around to the other side. That was what his logical brain was thinking. Most of the time, his assumptions were correct. His other concern was water. Supplies on hand were always a concern, mostly water. Bessie turned out to be quite a strong beast of burden, but the team dared not to overload her. Food she could carry, but water weighed her down. By its very nature, water in volumes was heavy. The river that ran through the valley came from the northern mountains, which is where they were now. John expected to come across the stream that flowed down from the mountain during the hike. Now would be a good time to come across the stream. The third hurdle they had to endure was food. The dried food they carried would last another week, maybe more, but it would be enough to curb their appetite, not enough to sustain a hike in these lands. They would need to kill something soon to give them energy for a few good days. There was a lot going on through John's thoughts at this time. He was sure that the girls were thinking the same thing. He decided they should probably rest and talk about their situation. The girls readily dropped their packs and lay down on the cold ground. There was no snow just yet, but the smell of snow was in the air. Probably, if they climbed straight up the mountainside, they would see snow. That was not what they wanted. If they could avoid the bitter cold of snow, the trip would be easier. John was the first to speak. The river that runs through the valley probably starts up here, John said as he pointed north. I put us on this path so that we would at least cross it at some point. We should be able to replenish our water bottles then. I know supplies are low. I'm about out, Penny said. Me too, Liz said. Bessie carried a few spare bottles for each of them. John shared his water bottle with the girls to ensure they would not drink all up of their own supplies. We need to make it to the stream with what we have. he reminded them. The girls understood, but said nothing. Everyone knew the gravity of their situation. What about food? Liz asked. We need to find something, John said. He looked concerned and deep in thought. Benji could find something if I let him look for a while, Penny said. I don't think that's a good idea, John said. We are deep in the forest. I suspect there are wolves out there. We can't put him out there all by himself. No, keep him close. Then what are we going to do? Liz asked. We have to keep walking until we hit water, John said solemnly. Animals need water as much as we do. If there are animals up here, that's probably where they will be. Then that presents another problem for us, Penny said. How are we going to protect ourselves? We have to be smart about it, John said. We have to plan and set up expectations. I know we are all tired. I will ask this from the two of you. Then he looked at Benji and corrected himself. The three of you, and actually, Benji, the fact that you have come this far is astounding. I'm so proud of you. He's a good boy, Penny said. Yes, he is, John said. But so far, nothing has caught his scent. That's both good and bad. It means nothing is around us, so we are not being hunted. It also means there is nothing for us to hunt. But I was saying, we will need Benji's sense of smell to keep us aware of our surroundings. So for this reason alone, I'm glad you brought him along. He's that important to the team. And, Penny asked, for the next couple of days, John added, we're going to be tired and worried. I understand that. If either of you feels too tired to continue for the day, then we must stop and rest. Don't just keep walking when you know you're going to fall out. We don't need anyone getting hurt. So I need you both to tell me when something is wrong. Okay, the girl said. When we reach the stream, John continued, we will need to stop and camp. That will give us a good place to collect our thoughts and replenish our strength. We're going to need that before moving on. Also, if there are any animals out there, that's where they will be. Somewhere up or down the mountainside, that's where they will be. We're going to need to camp and hunt. It doesn't matter how long we have to stay there. So Penny, this is where your skills as a dog owner and cook will come into play. We're going to need you. Penny smiled. Sure. And Liz, John said, this is where I need your skills as a hunter to shine. We need to find food. You bet, Liz said. We need to work together, John said. This is our time to prove that we are a team. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. If this brought you peace, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, and share it with someone who might need a little stillness too. Until next time, keep listening inward.